Is it recording?
Yep.
What is up, Diecast collectors? This is the 9446 Network, and it's going to be a special next-gen debut because I am with my channel owner,
NASCAR Phil Torres, 46V2, here once again, doing a review of the one and only 2022 Larson Next Gen.
And the special part of this episode you're going to find out is that there's two videos because we changed our business model over the vacation. And so we're going to be doing two different ones. We're doing Erik Jones Focus Factor and the HendrickCars.com car for Kyle Larson. And so we're going to start off with the Larson one first because we're doing Chevys first because it's going to be interesting to do that. So without further ado, let's take a look at the Larson one first. First time we're going to look at it, and oh my god, this looks really, really interesting. So
clean as a whistle.
Here it is, and absolutely, yeah, it's decal paper and what have you, but anyways, this is still a very interesting diecast. I'm going to get the camera to focus in on all of its angles of it. And so without further ado, it's time to read off some decals. So you got number 5 right there, Hendrick Motorsports, and the new Chevy look to the headlights. And on the hood, you have HendrickCars.com with the ZL1 logos, and you got the updated window banner with the air vents with the Chevy and the Larson. And Philip, you can go ahead and read the decals on the side.
HendrickCars.com, number 5. And also, Hendrick Motorsports is also hiring technicians for their shops.
And of course, you got
the Cup Series logo, the Goodyear,
Sunoco, Valvoline, and I'm going to go ahead and read these. So you got Larson, got a Cronus, Exalta, Cincinnati, Freightliner, Mack Tools, and Siemens right there.
Yep.
With the new next-gen wheels. Over to the back, you have Valvoline, HendrickCars.com, number 5, the giant Camaro logo, the ZL1, and the Chevy banner with the spoilers, and a little chip right there over those parts. You got HendrickCars.com, Larson's name, and hiring text, really short, very brief. And so we're going to look at the paint scheme. So, this car is spray painted in the Hendrick Cars blue first and wrapped on. And speaking of, we got a decal paper that just flipped off of the diffuser.
Yep.
That's going to be a highlight.
Yep.
Anyway, so let's get back to the paint scheme. So this here is based on the Ricky Hendrick cars and the Brian Vickers. And so, Phil, you want to go over a history of this paint scheme?
Basically, Vickers did the best job in the Busch series when he drove the number 5. And actually, Ricky Hendrick brought in Vickers during the time of when Vickers was in the Busch series, and he won a championship with the number 5. So, not only that, now Larson took over the ranks, and he also won his first ever championship in the Cup Series last year, 2021. Everybody loved how he came back and just dominated Succession. 10 wins under his belt, and look at now. He brought the car back in the next-gen form. This time, instead of having HendrickCars.com in the quarter panel, it's written right on the door, and the 5 has been pushed up here.
And the paint scheme itself, I'm going to review for anyone who hasn't seen the original. So basically starts out with the black splitter and the black spoiler and the black side skirts, which is new. So basically you have the two little spikes in the front with the red outline. It's almost like a crimson red outline on camera.
Outline, yeah.
So you got the white right there on the spikes, which is the same on all the Chevys for this paint scheme. You know, a little nick mark right there next to the red. And of course, you got the Larson, the iconic swoosh design with the spikes. So it just wraps around the front, then it spikes up to the A-post, and of course, it swooshes across the side with the 3 spikes. So there's a spike here, and a spike here, and a spike here. Has some decal paper hanging out, but a toothpick will take care of that.
Yep.
And of course, oh yeah, get biofuel. That's another new feature of this thing.
Yeah, for some reason they updated that biofuel little thing there. Ever since last year, the biofuel thing has been coming up. And next year's going to be in the talks about, what about the jack stand stuff? That's going to be in talks for next year. And the gear ratios for these cars for next year.
So it's absolutely the factor here. So you got the 3 spikes, the red spikes, just all across it. It just looks spectacular. This paint scheme always does. And of course, the back is all blue, as well as the deck lid being white and having red outlines to the roof lines of the car, as you can tell. And now for the numbers, which I usually look at first.
Inverted.
Basically, yeah, it's inverted. So on the roof, you got the red outline, a kind of a grayish outline, and then the white number fill in. Then, of course, the red shadow, the white outline, an even thinner red one, and a blue number fill in. And this, under the headlight, matches the roof. And on the taillight as well, underneath the taillights, is also like this as well. So basically, this car is now an iconic paint scheme that Kyle Larson made iconic, and all of Ricky Hendrick especially. And no matter what paint scheme and no matter what number placement, this thing never fails to impress me as a paint scheme and impress both of us with how awesome this paint scheme is. It's really, really good. Absolutely a spectacular paint scheme. Definitely pick this one up.
Don't forget, guys, they're also going to be making the number 17 nationwide car for him. The number 88 for Byron, and the 88 for Chase Elliott, and I think the number 17 for Alex Bowman. So keep an eye out, guys. The Xfinity cars are coming in with the same exact paint scheme, but with 4 different drivers behind the wheel. The number 17 and the number 88 cars.
And it's trucks as well.
And it's trucks, yep.
It's going to be
7 truck.
Very interesting to see those. And of course, if you guys haven't seen the next gen mold, it's all flat underneath with the new wheels and the single lugs. So without further ado, I'm going to give you guys a 360 view of this one, and we'll move on to the next car. So, and even the hood vents are decaled on, which is really nice
Hood
detail.
vents, yep.
So you got that right there, the whole front. Here's the hood. Here's the right side. Here's the back. Here's the deck lid.
Now, there's one reason why you see higher end bike techs. This happened all last year, way before Kyle Larson hopped into this car. Last year, late last year, they were having problems looking for technical personnel for Hendrick Motorsports. That's why it says hires for techs. They lost almost close to 90% of technical guys in their shops. That's the reason why you see it on the rear quarter deck.
Yep. Which is always awesome to see that they're promoting that. And here's the left side and the chassis. So that's the Kyle Larson Chevrolet. And because we're doing the new business model, we are going to do the Erik Jones one next, which is going to be really, really interesting to look at because it's a new type of 43. And right off the bat, here it is. And this is going to be a very bright looking car.
Yep.
As you can tell, the lime green, as soon as you take it out of the box, is the first standout thing of this car. And of course, you're going to probably notice the really...
Focus factor. It's a little shifted to the left, but it doesn't matter. As long as the car still sees focus factor, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it still sends the message.
I think what happened was that they were supposed to put the emblem somewhere here, and they was like, nah, let's just leave it.
It's the machines are putting these on, and they must have had this...
Messed up, yeah. Messed up a little bit.
Hopefully yours will be better than ours, but you got number 43 right there, Richard Petty Motorsports, before they realized to put the GMS there. The old ship right here. On the hood, you got Focus Factor ZL1, you got Chevrolet and Jones's name. You got the Sunoco logo, which is really scrunched. That thing is on life support, that Sunoco logo is. Got Goodyear, NASCAR Cup Series. Got the number 43, Erik Jones with the little flag he has. Focus Factor, nutrition for the brain. And of course, you got a paint chip on the STP, Mac Tools, and what is this other sponsor underneath? I can't really see it. Can you see that? Underneath the STV.
I cannot tell.
Probably either Columbia or Cessna.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to see.
It's got to be Columbia.
More than likely. But if you get a 124, you'll notice
I am
it.
quite surprised that they kept STP on the A pillar, because I didn't expect them to be back on the Cup Series so big and so bright.
Yeah.
But that's a pretty eye popper right there.
Yep. So you got Focus Factor, nutrition for the brain, safety clean, and you got Transtin Pact.
That is actually, yeah, that's Transtin Pact. That's supposed to be Elysian's travel pass, but they put it on the 42, so.
Got the U.S. Air Force with another little chip right there.
Little chip, yeah.
And of course, you got the Chevy Focus Factor, nutrition for the brain.
You always gotta love the taillights. Those taillights are looking smoking hot. Even on the Larson one looks smoking hot. When they introduced this car, the taillights took the cake. And
absolutely.
Of course, even the real production cars got those real taillights.
Yep.
They introduced it late last year with the new taillights.
So you got the ZL1 giant Camaro. And of course, I mean, that looks really huge, like the Camaro.
Yeah, I could understand why they put the Camaro name so large in the back. So I believe when the drivers get behind these Camaros, they could actually read it through their helmets.
And it's a
they could
huge
be like, oh shit, that thing's huge.
Chevy. And for the diecast, they gave it a black splitter, but sometimes on the racetrack, you'll see it with the blue that's on the rest of the car.
Yep.
Nothing on the deck lid, so you can just pretty much put whatever you want there.
This was actually not a tradition all the time. That orange number 43 on the. I believe this was the super speedway car, because this is where it started. This was a tradition throughout all the years in 2012 throughout this year. This is a spectacular way of doing it, because you cannot find any type of roof color for the font. And good thing they inverted to blue to orange, because what happened was when they had John Andretti, he's been spotted the wrong color. That's why they always put the bubble around it. But now they added that for good luck. So
Yep. And this has been left on all the tracks now, on every paint scheme, so
Yep.
it looks
So
interesting.
he could be spotted on the
So you got that burnt day glow orange on the roof. And it even blends in with the paint schemes really
Don't
well.
forget the throwback is also going to have that on.
And the throwbacks.
And the throwback is going to have that same exact 43 font on the doors.
Pretty much a gold
And on
standard
the-
at this point.
Yeah, on the standard.
So, for the paint scheme, they sprayed it that dark navy bluish, or kind of brightish bluish. And there's a bit of gradients too, I believe. I think it's close enough.
There's a petty blue there on the striping and on the bottom with a silver what I think that's supposed
The
to be
fool's
silver,
chrome.
Fool's chrome. Then you got the neon green through the top A pillar through the front valence, which is the front end, and then it gets thicker with the thinner petty blue with the thick green neon, like lime green style green. And of course it doesn't stop there, it also goes to the sides as well. You can see where the silver ends. It's still got the same petty blue, and then it goes right over the AC, the US Air Force thing, and through the back.
And they get biofuel again.
Yep.
So now that's on every one of them. And here's the back.
See the back. This is the tricky part. Doing these sticker placements is the tricky part. Since you got that thin blue line, then you got to do the green again, and on the other side the same thing. You just got to mirror it on the other side.
It's like puzzle pieces, these decals are, as you can see.
Yep.
Where they kind of didn't line up on the bottom. You can tell that if you know what you're doing, you line them up.
Decals on the diecast, man.
Absolutely. So, and it's the same here. And I didn't expect to like this Fool's Chrome as much, but it looks good because it's got a gradient. And Lionel's getting better with the gradients if you get a closer
Now,
look.
don't forget, the reason why they put the petty blue to separate the green and the silver is the reason they don't have to lose this idea of putting the gradient silver here, where the back of the top A pillar through the bottom portion of the A pillar, you see the petty blue there a little bit there.
Yeah. You got some little nick marks next to the rear quarter window, as you can tell.
I'm planning to pick this one up soon, maybe in the Authentics line, and then hopefully the test cars I'll find it again. But the 42 also has got the same orange on the throwback, maybe a little brighter orange, and the same thing on the front. So.
And for the closer details, the outline has got that darkish blue, and then the other darker blue. It's like a shadow with that orange burnt color on the roof.
Yeah, it's a darker blue with the orange burnt orange top.
And the same idea for the door, except it's white. So they just changed the fill-in color like you can for a NASCAR heat game or any NASCAR paint booth. And that's this car. Very, very cool that I'm glad they actually kept some type of petty blue on there. And I'm glad they did it. So we're going to give you guys a 360 view of that one. So here's the front of the car. Here's the really wonky hood. Here's the right side. Here's the back. Here's the deck lid. Here's the roof. Here's the left side. And the chassis. And that, my friends, is going to knock it out of the park for the first two Chevys on the channel. You got Kyle Larson and Erik Jones. And that is going to be the next gen Chevy Camaros. And here are the cars together as a part of the review, as you can tell. Gonna look good together on the Flash Racing Cup Racing Series for the diecast. We're gonna run these cars. I'm just gonna get them as close to the camera as you can.
Oh yeah, don't forget, the reason why they had those holes in front, they used to be back here. They've been having a lot of heating issues. So that's why they put them to the front. So that means when you see the backfires glowing onto the front of everything, you can tell it's a little slightly bigger than that.
Yeah, that's just like the decal.
I think because of what's been going on lately, it's not because of the sticker placement, it's because, you know, depending on which size of the tailpipes they go, either big or small, doesn't really matter as long as they have enough flame coming out of those tailpipes. I call it side pipes, front side pipes, because, you know, it's here, it's not back there anymore, it's up in front. The problem with this, when they were testing, a lot of drivers had been overheating in the cars. And I was like, oh boy. So what they did, NASCAR did, is put them here, both sides, on the front, and on the other side. They've been having a lot of tailpipe issues, and the tailpipes have been overheating a lot. And even in Daytona, you see these suckers glowing red, cherry red, in the nighttime.
And so there they are next to each other again. And that is gonna be the
Thighs,
reviews.
baby.
Yeah.
Thighs. Look at the thighs on those cars.
I actually brought that up originally on one of the videos, what Philip calls the thighs of the cars. Remember that video?
Yep. Remember, these cars are durable. This year, they're a lot durable this year than it is last year. The durability of these cars are 110%. Then last year's cars, it was all sheet metal. This is Delora's first ever NASCAR Cup car, both Chevy, Ford, and Toyota. These cars are going to be durable, no matter how you put it. When the Flash Racing Cup Series kicks off, durability is going to be the number